Hey, how you guys doing today? So, first off, I have to make an apology. This was maybe done about a week ago, and unfortunately, things have been, things that out of my control have been happening. But I finally sat down to do this review for Iron Girders, who kindly invited me to go and watch their third anniversary show at their gym in Galowgate, Glasgow, on the 29th of March. So yeah, as I say, this review was meant to be done about a week ago. So again, my apologies, but what a fun show this was. What a great little venue too, great gym, great people at Iron Girders. They treated me very well. Management were excellent as well. Everybody I met was very, very nice indeed. So yep, as I say, it was a very fun show, and also a shout out to their ring announcer, the great Cat Wolf, who some of you will already know from Insane Championship Wrestling in Glasgow. And obviously she's I think she does gaming and Twitch streaming and stuff like that as well. But she was fantastic. I got to briefly chat to her. She was very, very nice indeed, and she was great with the crowd, great with the kids as well, making sure everybody was comfortable and having a great time. So a big shout out again to Cat Wolf. So well, let's get on with this. So before the main card happened, we had a couple of bonus matches. So we had two bonus matches for the VIP people that paid a little bit extra to come in early and get some good matches. And yeah, we had two great bonus matches. The first one was for the UEWA title, which is held by the great legendary Scottish wrestler that is BT Gunn, and he was taking on the big man himself, Big Mick from the Moxie crew. And well, this was a short match. It was a short, I wouldn't say a squash match, but it was one of those, Big Mick playing, obviously, being the heel in this, the not so very popular with the crowd, and he's a very big, intimidating man, Big Mick. But unfortunately, he came from behind and tried to, what's the word I'm looking for here? He just attacked BT Gunn without BT Gunn sort of looking away, tried to get the upper hand. But as I say, this was a quick match. I mean, Mick did start dominating at the start of all of this, but BT Gunn, with the will of the crowd, willed him back on, and he made a comeback with a quick finish, a very hard spear from BT Gunn, so it was, to pick up the 1-2-3, and he retains his UEWA title belt. So, but I'm sure we'll see Big Mick coming back with bigger and better things. Indeed, he's, as I say, very intimidating. Definitely got the look, so he does. He's a very big man, very heavily tattooed, and I'm sure he's very good at scaring the children as well. But, and the other match was a tag match from also two other members of the Moxie crew, taking on Gabriel Soul and Robbie Cartrell, if I've got those names right, hopefully. And again, this was another quick sort of high energy match as well, sort of similar to the BT Gunn Big Mick match, with the Moxie crew trying to do whatever they bloody well could to get the upper hand, but unfortunately they could not get the upper hand. And the great finish, it was a Meltzer driver for the win for Gabriel Soul and Robbie Cartrell. So that was your two bonus matches that we caught here, and a very nice start to the evening. So it was, but let's get on to the main card. I scribbled down a lot of notes, so I did. See if I can read my handwriting back on this. But we started off with a very, very good match, very technical, good match indeed, with Eddie Castle and Tommy Lockhart. And both these guys with tons of charisma. Obviously, Tommy Lockhart coming out, and everyone sort of loves his gimmick as the big showman man. Very impressive mustache as well, I must admit. And obviously, Eddie Castle coming out to the jeers from the crowd. And this was quite a technical match to start out with a lot of sort of mat work. And the story of this match, I would say, was that no matter what, Eddie Castle trying to out-wrestle Tommy Lockhart wasn't just going to happen, unfortunately. Anything that Eddie Castle sort of tried, Tommy Lockhart had an answer to. And well, in the end though, Eddie Castle just had to resort to, just thumping the guy in the end, Forget the mat work, forget the technical wrestling. He just went for some cheap shots to break down Eddie Castle. Also, I must say, with Eddie Castle coming out to the ring was Kez Evans as well, one of the men who helps run Iron Girders Wrestling. And There were some things that happened with him, but we'll get to that later. He had a nice promo as well at the start of this, eh? As I said, we had a lot of, I said, it did start out with some technical arm holds, leg holds, headlocks. They were sort of testing out each other, but as I say, Eddie Castle resorting to some heavy hits to try and take out Lockhart. But as I say, the crowd was right behind Tommy Lockhart. I thought was fantastic. Both these guys have great looks, and I'm sure both of them will be very, very popular now in the Glasgow scene. I would love to see them more around Scotland. I'm sure they have. I just haven't noticed it yet, eh? But so then there was parts though when they brawled outside as well, going up to the entrance, sort of getting amongst the crowd as well. Again, just with you can see the frustration in Eddie Castle's face. So he was getting more and more frustrated during this match, trying to outwit Eddie Castle. But Eddie Castle, as I say, even after some cheap shots from Tommy Lockhart, even after some cheap shots of Eddie Castle, just willed himself on, and he just couldn't be put down, no matter what happened. Unfortunately, though, Kez Evans was involved as well in the scuffle. The ref didn't see this, and I think he hurt his leg thanks to Eddie Castle at some point. What was it? I mean, that would prove later on in the main event, but we'll get to that, eh? The other things too, I must admit, Tommy Lockhart, great on the ropes, doing little headstands, and just the way he runs the ropes and that, just very, very professional, very confusing Eddie Castle, I would say. And it was unfortunate though, Tommy Lockhart couldn't unfortunately pick up, as much as he was outclassing Eddie Castle. Eddie Castle though, when Tommy Lockhart unfortunately was distracted because of Kez Evans, I think, injury and worried about him, Eddie Castle came in with the double throat sort of chop, I think it was, and then he picked up the win, which was a bit of a disappointment for the fans, and I'm sure a huge disappointment for Tommy Lockhart, who in the end, him and Kez Evans had to stumble away to the back ring. There's more to the story of the end of this show, but we'll get to that. But a great opening match, I thought, on the main card between these two guys I think have got a great future in the game. As it was the first time I think it's the first time I've seen both. A lot of these people on the card, it's the first time I've kind of seen wrestle, and I was very, very impressed, especially with Tommy Lockhart. Both guys, Eddie Castle was fantastic, great heel too, but Tommy Lockhart, very, very impressive, I thought indeed. It's a great look, great charisma, great gimmick. Definitely a man to keep an eye out. Anyways, let's get to the next match. Anyways, so what was after this? Yes, we had quite a few tag matches on this card as well, which I love a good tag match indeed. And we had, it was a tournament match. It was the PWE Tag Tournament match. It was the first round. And again, it was the Par taking on Tall and Tiny. And everybody giving it some TNT chance for these guys. Get it? Tall and Tiny, TNT, get it? But as I say, we had again, with the Par being the men. Well, there was an interesting finish to this match, but we'll get to that in the end. But it was again, Tall and Tiny being the popular men from the crowd, the fan favorites in this one against the Par. But again, those dastardly heels, they started off with some cheap shots from the Par, but as I say, both teams sort of evenly quite matched. There was some classic classic tag storyline telling here with the Par, who were very, very good at cutting off the ring from the guys from Tall and Tiny, who just couldn't. There was a lot of tagging in this match, but then obviously at one point the Par managed to get on top of this and cut off the ring. Classic sort of tag match. So it was. Again, the Par though was still, excellent tag team work from TNT, but the Par were cheating tactics. Just reading through my notes here, really. As I said, they were obviously with the Par chopping off the ring. We were building towards that classic hot tag. A lot of fast maneuvers as well from both teams as well. A lot of heavy chops in this one, if I remember correctly. But was it, as I say, the Par with the constant cheating here, classic tag psychology. But then obviously at some point we knew it was coming. We knew that Tall and Tiny were going to get that hot tag indeed, and yes, run riot with both of them. But here's the thing, here's the finish. So there was a bit of conflict between the pair, because one of them went for the tag, well, sort of another hot tag between the heels, and well, jumped off the apron. So unfortunately, I did not get the names of the wrestlers. My absolute fucking apology. I know, how fucking terrible was that? But no, there was a tag being made. The two guys there was a bit of conflict between the both of them. One was left in the ring to suffer, and TNT with it was an assisted power bomb, I think the finish was, and they picked up the win. So unfortunately, yeah, conflict between the pair. We don't know if there'll be a match, I'm guessing, coming up between those two guys. But I quite thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a fast-paced, technical, sort of classical sort of tag match. But that finish was quite interesting between the pair. A lot of conflict between those two, I'm guessing. We'll have to wait and see. But that was the first, I think, of 2 tag matches that were going to be on that evening, and that was an excellent, fun tag match to watch. So great from both teams again. So anyways, I suppose we'll better continue this review. So look, oh yeah, we had a title match next week. We did. So management came out. They were presenting a new belt, which was I think it was replacing a belt. It was the For the Fans title, which held by Moxie Malone, who is fantastic, and she came out with the Moxie crew. Obviously not been such a good night for them, obviously, with the opening bonus matches with both defeats, but they all came out, and Moxie Malone just snatching the new belt off of management. She was running her mouth. This match was meant to be later on in the night, but they decided to call it there and then. I think management was so annoyed, we'll say, at Moxie Malone, they decided, you know what, let's just have this match right now. And her opponent, the great from Liverpool, Harley Hudson, made her entrance along to the ring, which was a surprise for Moxie Malone. She was trying to give it, she wasn't prepared, she wasn't ready for this. But obviously this match was going to happen. So I said the fans absolutely love Harley Hudson. She has been, even though she's from Liverpool, she has been making the rounds in Scotland. Especially, she has been making the travel up north here to perform, which is very, very appreciated from her, especially in the Glasgow scene. But she's been everywhere recently. It was the first time I saw her. I think it was down at TNT in Liverpool with the GCW weekend, and she's a fan favorite for everybody as well, and has a great look. So let me just go through my notes. So as I say, this was a sort of Moxie Malone doing the classic heel stuff. Like, anytime at the start Hudson wanted to lock up, get this match going, Moxie Malone was just not having it. She just kept putting herself out the ring, just dodging away from the lockup. It was just kind of building up the tension, building up the crowd heat for Moxie Malone, who wasn't playing game with Harley Hudson. And fans were chatting chicken at her for not doing the lockup here. But we finally did get the lockup. Finally, Hudson got what she wanted. And she was just proving how much, well, we all know, if you follow Harley Hudson on social media, how she enjoys going to, well, obviously all wrestlers enjoy going to the gym, but we all know that Harley Hudson got a lot of strength. Obviously, she looks very strong, and she is very strong. And she was proving that against Moxie Malone, who just couldn't get get on top of things. And again, it was sort of having to resort to certain cheating. Obviously, she had the Moxie crew were meant to be there, but they got banished. I think they got banished to the back. But as I said, Moxie then doing what most heels do best, resorting to a little bit of cheating, and then coming from behind to give her some hard shots to Harley Hudson, which, there was a back and forth. Harley Hudson was trying to play, the classic face, trying to do everything above the book and not cheat, and the fans were willing on Harley Hudson because obviously there was a title on the line. Let me just go through my notes here. Jeez. I said the Harley Hudson though, she was fighting back. The fans absolutely loved it. There was a great back and forth. A lot of heavy chops in this between them, and you can just see anytime Moxie and Malone put down Harley Hudson with any sort of maneuver, and even heelish moves, Hudson was just with the fans behind him coming back very, very strong. Let me just get the finish here. Oh yeah, so it was a good finish actually. It said Moxley had put Hudson in some holes, but then a surprise pin, I think this was, as a Harley Hudson managed to reverse some of these holes into a bloody pin. I think it was a package, which she got the 1, 2, 3, and lo and behold, we have a new champion in Harley Hudson, the new for the fans title champion with a very good looking belt. You can see all the fans love this. You can see that Harley Hudson was very, very happy and emotional. It was quite a surprise. Well, not surprise, but she had a good surprise look, shock on her face that she couldn't believe that she managed to pull it off, especially with cheating from Moxie Malone as well. But as I said, when Moxie Malone was sort of walking out of the venue, you could see management was still not very pleased how she's been behaving at Iron Girders Wrestling. But as I say, she left and Harley Hudson got to celebrate, was it with her title, with the fans. I'm sure you've seen all the pictures online as well. But it was a fun match. It was a good match. I said a lot of fighting back from Harley Hudson, showing her will, her fantastic will to come from behind in all adversity to win this title. We'll wait and see when her first title defense will be and who it will be against. You never know, it might be a rematch with Moxie Malone or somebody else, but we'll see what happens. But for sure, we will always be seeing more of Harley Hudson coming back to Scotland. Oh dear, let me catch my breath for a second here, because we are going down to another first round, another tag match. I said there were 3 tag matches on this card, and I said I love it. We had another PWE Tag Team Tournament match again, first round, and well, I was quite intrigued with that. Two hot teams right now, 2 very hot teams right now in the Scottish wrestling scene, because we had Legends Never Die, who I have reviewed before, and I do quite know them well from Bleeding Gums Wrestling. Who they've been on a few of the cards, and they're great lads, good tag team as well. And they were taking on the fan favorites in Casino Brutal, who I thought were fantastic. Great look as well. Both the guys do fan favorites, well known in the Scottish scene, in wrestling and the UK scene. To be honest, when both these teams got announced for this match, I thought this is going to be... I mean, every match was fantastic, but this was going to be a banger. This was going to be a really good tag match between 2 buddy teams, especially the high energy of Legends Never Die, especially when they make their entrances. I quite enjoy their entrance music, to be honest. But obviously, both guys have very high energy between them. But as I say, the start of this match was just basically Casino Brutal just showing how cool they are compared to Legends Never Die with their look, their coats, the glasses, and the fans just loved it. The fans are huge fans of Casino Brutal, and well, so I'm just going through my notes here. So yeah, as I said, Casino Brutal, they were sort of making fun, especially of Sammy Sparks, with the music, with the chanting from the fans. And it started off with a good lock-up and some chops for this match, but then this match would build and build faster and faster and faster. So it would be, as I said, it was very technical tag team wrestling, we'll say. There was a lot of tags between both teams. 1 minute Legends Never Die would be on top, next minute Casino Brutal would be on top. It was a very evenly high-paced match between the 2 teams. As I say, you think 1 minute one team is going to get on top until the other one does. There was a little bit of hijinks, I would say, from Legends Never Die. They were definitely the ones the fans were cheering against. Being that I've reviewed them before in Bleeding Gums, I was possibly the only fan in the whole venue cheering for Legends Never Die. I said they're very what's the word I'm looking for? They're just sort of very loud and very in your face sort of team. So they are Legends Never Die. But then obviously, like, being that they were the bad guys, they were getting some sneaky tags in there, and sort of this is how they managed to sort of kind of get on top for a while with with Casino Brutal, with some classic sort of heel distractions, we'll say, especially with the ref not paying attention to certain antics that Legends Never Die will do it. And then obviously we get to the point in most tag matches, the great psychology, where Legends Never Die finally managed to chop off the ring, and obviously you're building towards that hot tag. There was also some outside shenanigans as well in this match, but at some point we knew, being the fan favorites, Casino Brutal definitely made they got the hot tag, and well, I said they managed to pull out the bag after a very high-paced, fun match to watch. So the finish was a top rope stop, sort of body slam from Casino Brutal, and they picked up the victory, which means they'll be heading to the next round of the tournament. This was an excellent tag match, actually. I'll be looking forward to seeing if I can rewatch this one again. A lot of high pace, and again, Legends Never Die, doing the rounds in Scotland. But after the match, there was a quite emotional promo from Casino Brutal, who obviously had previous history with a very, very famous, legendary Scottish and UK wrestler in Lionheart, who a lot of you know obviously passed away a few years ago. I never got the privilege to see, unfortunately, Lionheart wrestle live. Unfortunately, obviously he was very well known, especially in the Glasgow scene as well, and obviously came through the ranks with Casino Brutal. Obviously Lionheart and Casino Brutal used to be in trios as well, and sort of Lionheart helping Casino Brutal break through as well. So it was quite an emotional promo from them. So credit to Casino Brutal, great guys, and they vowed that they were going to go all the way to win this tournament for Lionheart. And there was, I must admit, even I must have had a wee, I'm not gonna lie, like a wee tear in my eye hearing this promo. And obviously some of the younger kids in the audience might not have known who maybe Lionheart was, but obviously it's good to keep the memory going, obviously teach the younger kids as well about Lionheart and how important he was to the Scottish scene, especially to guys like Casino Brutal, who are excellent as well in the ring. Look forward to seeing them live again and perform. So again, shout out to Casino Brutal for being a great tag team, and obviously that promo wouldn't have been easy. So I will be definitely rooting for them to go all the way and win this tournament for Lionheart. So shout out to Casino Brutal, you guys are fantastic. But let's move on. So yeah, we had an interesting match after this. We had a sort of a mixed gender match we did, with two very good up-and-comers, with Prince Levy taking on Angel Hayze. And obviously Prince Levy just came back. Some of you might have seen. No, I don't watch the WWE, but I have seen the clip of Damian Priest giving I think it was a powerbomb to to Prince Levy through a table backstage, because Damian Priest hit his car. This was obviously down in London, so it was. And the fans at Iron Girders were chatting to him, "Thank you, Damien," which was quite interesting. But Prince Levy, being the egotistical, the cocky wrestler, we'll say, in this match. Angel Hayze came out, another fan favorite. She was fantastic actually in this match. Very, very talented. A lot of technical moves. These two, brilliant actually. Enjoy Prince Levy's heel work too. Very, very clever. Good comebacks as well to the crowd. Very not liked. So everybody was cheering on. There was a lot of back and forth chatting at the start of this one. And actually, at the start of this match, Prince Levy, typical heel, trying to convince Angel Hayze, "Hey, you know what? Let's not just have the match. Let's not do this match. Let's just call it quits, join forces or whatever. We'll just leave. These fans don't deserve to see us." Angel Hayze was not having any of it, and it started off with some sort of technical matches. I think Prince Levy was trying to show, well, like, I'm a man, I'm stronger, I'm better than you at everything, which wasn't the case, because anytime he put her in a wrist lock, head lock, leg lock, whatever, Angel Hayze always had the wittiness to get out of these holes and sort of make Prince Levi just like not look as strong as he thought he was against her. But it was all about, Angel Hayze was outsmarting Prince Levi in all these, everything she was sort of doing. And she was doing what the thing is, like, no matter what Prince Levi did, Angel Hayze was just too quick for her. The pace of the woman was fantastic indeed. Everything she did, very quick pace, very technical, could run the ropes quickly, and she was just too fast for Prince Levi, who is no slouch himself, by the way. So that is saying something. But it got a bit, obviously, at some point, Prince Levi's going to obviously do some cheating, pulling the hair, obviously, which is not, shouldn't be doing that against a woman, that's for sure. But it was pulling the hair, cheap shots from behind, distracting the referee, all that sort of heel sort of stuff that happens. Because you could tell he was getting a bit frustrated because he thought this was going to be an easy match. And obviously, the crowd completely behind Angel Hayze, who is she's been making the rounds. She had a great match the next night with Harley Hudson, actually at Clash of the Clans, I think it was. I couldn't make it. That was at that big venue in bloody Glasgow, the Braehead Arena. There we go. Unfortunately, I could not make that. I kind of wanted to go to that show because it looked fantastic. But no, she had a great weekend, I think. Angel Hayze, tell you what, Angel Hayze, I really enjoyed. She's got a great sling blade. And if you know what a sling blade is, go look at Tanahashi from New Japan. It was sort of a jump, wrap around the neck, and you slam your opponent down onto their back. She cracked them out for a couple, and then obviously there was some. She had a couple pinfalls from that. We also had like a fantastic cutter from Levi, which also Prince Levi, which also resulted in another near pinfall. But Levi just kept taunting Hayze in frustration because he just couldn't seem to get the upper hand. And then, I said we'll get to the get into the finish of this match. Levi, though, trying everything they could, he comes off the top rope and he gets kicked really hard, actually, but in the midsection, I think it was, from Hayze, and then she busts out a fantastic neck breaker for the win. Angel Hayze beat Prince Levi, which was the shock on Prince Levi's face when that happened. Everybody popped for that finish, though. It was a great neck breaker. I had my money down for a Prince Levi win, to be honest. But no, it was a very quick technical match. I said everybody at the Iron Girders, everyone works very, very hard. And I tell you what, a lot of hard work rate sort of wrestlers at Iron Girders and what they're doing. Great for the audience. I said it's a family show, but they really put in some hard-hitting, proper wrestling matches, and this was one of them, indeed. So great win for Angel Hayze. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of her. She had a great weekend with some great matches. So I'm sure we'll see more from the both of them. Maybe we'll see Prince Levi maybe a bit more in WWE, getting slammed to the tables. We don't know yet. But hey, we'll move on. We shall move on, so we will. Because, let me get this right. Yeah, so we had the main event. We finally had the last match of the night. What a main event this actually was. A lot happened. Because it was going to be the champion, the Iron Girders champion, Luke Kyro, who's not very liked by the fans, taking on Kev Evans. And we talked about Kev Evans earlier because he was at ringside for Tommy Lockhart, and he had a bit of an injury, hurt his knee, hurt his leg, wasn't good. We didn't know this match was going to happen because Luke Kyro came out, certainly wasn't wearing his ring gear. He had a couple of palm trees and a beanbag chair, and he was sitting there ready going, this match ain't happening. Kez Evans can't wrestle. I'm ready to just call it a night, to go home, so I am, with my title belt. It's going to be a forfeit from Kez Evans. But before that can happen, Kev Evans' music plays. He's come up with a heavily strapped knee, and he's begging everybody. But I think BT Gunn is out. I think Tommy Lockhart as well is out, and they're trying to stop him from having the match. But he wants the match. He's saying to the referee, I'm good to go. Let me have my title shot at Luke Kyro for it. And well, Luke Kyro wasn't prepared for this. He was a bit shocked. He kept he was sitting on his beanbag chair just screaming, no. He did not want this match to happen. So, let me just go through my notes again here. Sorry, everybody. So obviously, Well, we knew what was going to happen. Well, obviously, the game plan for Luke Kyro would be, well, we're going to have this match. I'm just going to go for your leg, which proved what was going to happen. He did it from from chopping his legs, from putting him in holds, just brutal stuff. Kez Evans selling, fantastic. And he was also another one with Prince Levi down at London. I think he was in one of the segments as security in SmackDown in London as well. Kev Evans, brilliant guy that works, one of the head guys at Iron Girders, great trainer as well, great look. Guy was fantastic. His selling was fantastic. But obviously, like, that was the game plan for Luke Kyro. Go for that knee. And these guys then ended up out the outside of the ring. Kez Evans just trying to get a moment, I think, to try and recover from his leg. Luke Kyro having none of it, brawling in the crowd, just absolutely going for it. A lot of stiff chops from, just chopping away from both of these guys. Because I'm sure Luke Kyro was up against the ring apron. Some absolute hefty chops. And Kez Evans just, you can see the marks afterwards on Luke Kyro's chest. When the blood vessels start going, and it's just, oh Jesus Christ! It was always going to be about the knee, wasn't it? It was always going to be about that knee from Kez Evans. And then we get to near the end of this match, because as I said, Luke Kyro kept going back and forth with those knees. And then at one point, we tried to get let me get this right. Yeah, so like more shenanigans. We even had, what was it? Kyro grabs for the belt at one point, trying to clobber. He was going to try and clobber Kyro. Kyro was trying to clobber Evans. Sorry, I'd say Johnny with the belt. With the referee obviously being distracted by obviously like things happening on the outside of the ring, with everyone being there. And at some point, he never did. And then at some point, I think Kev Evans had the belt as well in his hands. Obviously, playing the face, he wasn't going to hit Kyro. He dropped her. He wanted to win this match fair and square for that title. What a mistake though from Kev Evans. Because Luke Kyro then gets him in a very, very long, painful figure 4 leg lock, putting much strain. And this is when we get to near the finish of the match, because Tommy Lockhart is trying to will Kez Evans to overturn. We all know if you overturn the figure 4, the pressure gets reversed onto the person who put it on in the first place. And you can just see Kez Evans trying his absolute best to put this over, to turn over Luke Kyro. You can see Tommy Lockhart on the ring apron screaming at him to do it. You can see the emotion, But the longer this hold is put on, obviously the longer, the more damage that was going to be happening to Kez Evans' knee. And oh my god, didn't see this coming. Tommy Lockhart, he threw the towel in. He threw the towel in and cost Kez Evans the match. He was worried for Kez Evans and his knee. The ref called it. Luke Kyro got to keep his title belt. He retained, thanks to Tommy Lockhart throwing in the towel. That figure 4 looked absolutely devastating, so it did. It was, and you can see the frustration of Kev Evans. He wanted to continue this match. He was very upset with Tommy Lockhart, with BT Gunn as well coming out, because it looked like Kev Evans just wanted to batter Tommy Lockhart, and then he started having to go at BT Gunn. BT Gunn just standing there, what's going on? He's your friend, all that sort of stuff. I was wondering what was going to happen, and was Kez Evans going to turn on him there and then as he's building towards something? But in the end, BT Gunn managed to get Tommy and Kez to sort of shake hands, have a hug. Everything seems fine now, but we'll have to wait. If you are a regular at Iron Girders, I'm sure there's going to be an interesting storyline that comes out of that. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, really good psychological main event. I actually quite enjoyed that main event a lot. Especially, like, obviously, you knew the second Kez Evans in the opening match, watching Tommy Lockhart done his knee in, you knew that was going to play into something, obviously, a storyline, into the main event, which it did. But it was a great main event. And overall, really good fun show. Actually, yeah, I quite enjoyed it. And as I say, we'll have to wait and see. If you're a fan, please get in touch with me to find out what happens with Kez Evans and Tommy Lockhart. Two guys I really enjoyed watching. Enjoyed watching everybody. And I said, look, I'm sorry this review, it's not my best review. Unfortunately, I was meant to do this last week when the memory was a bit more fresh. I'm just going off my scribbled notes, which I was writing frantically in the corner, so I was. Stood for the whole show. But no, as I say, loved going to the show. Thank you, Iron Girders. Really, really appreciate you guys for letting me come and see the venue, meet the wrestlers. Had a cracking good time. Met some of the trainees as well when I was there. Had a good chat with them. It was very, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Very sort of high technical, fast-paced wrestling, but with traditional sort of wrestling storylines, which is great. I think it's great for the kids. I think coming in, a lot of the kids, I think it was their first kind of wrestling show as well. Great third anniversary show, and hopefully Iron Girders will be about for many, many years to come. I know they produced some great wrestlers. Obviously, some of them were on SmackDown as well, which was very, very cool that they would use talent from Scotland, not just England. As I say, I can't praise them enough. They were great with me. As I say, I wish I could have just done a better review, to be honest. I'm just going for my scribbled notes. But I said every match was very good, high-paced, very technical, showing what they can do. It wasn't all just about the sort of, some companies you go to family shows and it's more about just getting the sort of fan reaction and not as much the wrestling. Some wrestlers will like maybe play a bit safe at family shows, but no, not this show. This show has some great high-paced, great technical wrestling that I appreciated, and everyone's sort of showing their styles. The tag matches especially, I really enjoyed. Great opening bonus matches that build towards later. Moxie Hudson was a great match. I said the main event too was excellent. The opening match too. You should always like open up with a great match and end with a great match. But all the matches were fantastic. But Eddie Castle, Tommy Lockhart, I mean, I'm trying to think what my match of the night would be, because they're all great matches. I mean, I really enjoyed the tag match between Legend Never Die and Christine Brutal. Great match, great opener match with Eddie Castle and Tommy Lockhart. I think both of them looked very impressive, and the psychology of the main event between Kez Evans and Luke Kyro for the title was also fantastic. Great storytelling, I felt, in the middle of the ring. So I can't really pick one match, but I think I'm going to pick those three matches in particular, were like Tommy Lockhart and Eddie Castle, Legends Never Die with Casino Brutal, and Kez Evans with Luke Kyro. But don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Prince Levi and Angel Hayze, and obviously Harley Hudson, Moxie Malone, and obviously the interesting stuff with the ending between the Par and Tall and Tiny as well. If you haven't been to an Iron Girders show, go to it. If you're in the Glasgow area of the west coast of Scotland, because obviously these guys do shows at East Kilbride, they do shows at Motherwell, Coatbridge, Galowgate, go to an Iron Girders show. Definitely. If your kids have never been to a wrestling show before, but definitely a good company to go check out. So look, thanks again to Iron Girders for inviting me out. I hope I get to go and review more shows with them. I've got this week to build up to Bleeding Gums, which is going to be a very busy weekend for myself. I've just found out some stuff that's happening. But look, thanks again, Iron Girders. Management was fantastic. Great venue, great school. Thank you again. So look, I will see you guys later on, hopefully.